defense on the left. Thomas, you might pass that back.
Oh, yeah. Luke, you had a comment after the game, I think it was after the game, where you said practicing in the fall against the defense was like miserable, you know, All-America safety here. Could you elaborate on that, and what is that like?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult going against one of the best defenses in the country every day, and especially in training camp where it's mostly good on good. But, you know, it does nothing but make us better. And we know that we're not going to see a whole lot of defenses that are that much better than our guys. So as far as secondary is concerned, I put them up against anybody, any school I've been at, any personnel I've seen at the college level. Those guys are unbelievable. And then our front seven, I mean, they let up, like 20 rushing yards? So just a phenomenal defense, and we're lucky to have them.
That being said, I wanted to get your impression of the general impression that this team has to win with its, or will win with its defense. You hear about that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, look at the last couple of national champions, even in the NFL. Look who's winning the Super Bowls. They have great defenses. It's hard to win games when you can't stop people. You know, everybody can score. You know, the Big 12 probably leads the nation in scoring every year, but they're usually not in the national conversation because defense is still of the utmost importance. And it's funny because it carries out high school, college, NFL. You got to be able to stop them. So we're lucky that we can do that.
Ryan on the right.
Cam was telling us about your weekly dinners with the O-line. How'd that start, and what's the value in that, taking them out and buying them dinner and stuff?
Yeah, it started week one. You know, I wanted to do something with them and kind of just show them that, you know, I care about them, want to bring the group closer together and just hang out outside of football. You know, it's just something to kind of get to know them because, you know, contrary to a lot of fans' beliefs, we do have lives outside of football. So, you know, we get together every Thursday. Sometimes it's not just the starting five. You know, if there's a rotational guy that'll get to play in some packages, then I'll bring him along too. But, you know, it's a really good thing, and they look forward to it. You know, every Wednesday night, they're like, where are we going to go tomorrow night? So I'm glad that I do it. I'm definitely going to continue to do it.
And what's the one area you've seen that group progress the most, where it transfers onto the field and progress?
Yeah, just communication and really working as a unit. You know, I've said this before, you can have a lot of talented guys, but if they don't work well as a unit, then they're not going to be very good. And it's one of those unique positions and positional groups where there's 5 of them on the field at one time. And outside of situational football, you're not going to see that on the field. You know, a team might get in dime, but, you know, that's for a play. You know, every play, those 5 guys are on the field and they have to work together. And our offensive success depends on how well that they play.
Zach.
Look, one of the strong things that you did Saturday was your throws on third down, converting those. You guys lead the SEC in third down conversions. I think you're like 6th nationally. What have you guys done to have that much success on third down?
Well, I think it starts with Coach Mack and coaching us. They've done a really good job at letting us know that there's an importance to third down. There's a reason why defense calls it money down. Good teams convert on third down, and good teams get their offense, the other team's offense, off the field. So being able to extend drives is big. It's demoralizing for a defense. You know, you give them a 3rd and long and they convert. It's like, man, you know, what do we have to do to get them off the field? So it definitely kind of heightens your awareness when you know it's 3rd down. Because if you don't get this, you're going to the bench. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a focal point of our offense, and we need to continue to do well in that area.
And how do you feel Jordan Scarlett did, just getting a bigger role Saturday and being the featured guy?
He did a great job. Great job. Jordan is a really, really tough guy, runs hard. I've yet to see one guy tackle him. So, you know, hopefully he can continue to be that kind of juggernaut that's that hard to bring down. And Michael did a great job at being kind of that change of pace back. We kind of forget he's a true freshman. He's like, I don't even know if he's 19 yet. So those 2 guys really stepped up.
Edgar.
Why do you think you guys maybe aren't as respected, recognized, maybe as a 6-1 team that's now cracked the top 10?
I don't know. I don't really care. We're number 10 in the nation. you know, if they don't respect us, I don't really care.
Does Mack use that as a little bit of a rallying cry though, proving yourselves, things like that? Because he kind of brought it up the other day after the game.
Yeah, I mean, I personally believe you earn respect with how you play. We learned the hard way. You can't talk yourself up to be a great team. You know, so we've kind of shut up and let our play do the talking.
Brian in the back.
Hey, Luke, so it's been a few weeks since your leg injury. Just looking back from then to where you are now, do you feel that that stalled your progression at all, just on a personal level, or are you about where you thought you would be this season?
You know, I didn't really know where I was going to be, you know, the week after Florida, Georgia. I didn't really have a, you know, I want this many touchdowns and this percentage completion. You know, every game is so unique, and we play against good defenses. We're in the SEC. You know, Georgia, they have a very good defense. You know, we had to work hard to score those 24 points. It's not like they blew a coverage and we got a 90-yard, you know, run or a throw. So all the credit to them, credit to Kirby. But as far as my personal development, I think it's all part of it. Injuries are a part of it. Setbacks are a part of it. It's just how you grow as an individual and as a player.
Thomas.
What's the next step for the offense?
Well, you know, the offensive line has started to come together and really kind of assert themselves in the games. We don't have the yardage in the last game to kind of show it, but like I said, Georgia's a really good defense. So we put up 24 points, and you know, with our defense, it was enough. We obviously want to score more points, and it starts with me. I need to complete more passes. I think just being more consistent in the passing game, and like I said, you know, it starts with me.
Ryan. And then we'll go back there.
Did you watch the end of the Tennessee game, and what were your thoughts on seeing them fall?
No, I didn't watch it. I saw the highlights, but you know, it's an SEC team, SEC game. You know, we're kind of focused on ourselves. We knew it was, you know, we have to win out. And it's not like, okay, now we have breathing room. You know, we don't really care. We're not going to go into a game and be like, oh, yeah, it doesn't really matter if we lose. You know, it never enters our mind, ever. I don't really think you're a championship type team if you think that way. So, no.
And then thoughts on Arkansas, their last game. Obviously, they gave up a lot of yards.
Yeah,
That
I
matchup.
think Auburn had a really good game plan. You know, Arkansas is a good team. They have a good defensive approach. And Austin Allen, I knew him a little bit in high school with the Elite 11 and all that, and he's played phenomenally this year. So, you know, they're a good team. We're excited to play them.
We'll finish up with Graham, Edgar, and then Grace.
Deontay Lewis, a guy who's really kind of had an up and down season, made 2 big plays there in the first quarter. What have you seen out of him in recent weeks that have, you know, kind of indicated to you that he was ready to make that next step?
Yeah, we can't ask for a better teammate. I'll tell you that right now. Deontay is one of my favorites of all time. I mean, he is unreal as a person, and you know, second most important as a player. He works his tail off in practice. He's always positive. He brings a great kind of sense of humor to the offense. Really proud that he made that catch for me. I was pretty happy about that. And then extending a third down play into a touchdown. Really happy.
Edgar.
What was it like coaching Jeremy Foley?
What do you mean with the breakdown? Well, we didn't really coach him. We kind of gave him. Coach Mack said that there was a second chance, and he performed a little bit better in the execution department. But the enthusiasm was always there. But you know, it was fun to have him there in the locker room after the win, and you know, we're looking forward to having him run the program in the future.
Did he ask you to personally kind of show him the ropes there?
Well, he tried to break us down. I think it was after Missouri, and he just didn't quite do it right. We didn't really know what he wanted us to do, so I kind of had to show him. But you know, there wasn't like a long, extended conversation on, hey, if you want to break a team down, you know, you gotta do that. So,
Grace in the back.
We've seen a lot of the young guys in the receiving corps step up. As Cleveland last week, Hammond had a big play this week. But Max said Brandon Powell plays a big role in their development. So what have you seen from him, his leadership, and just the group as a whole?
yeah, Brandon's done a tremendous job this year. Outside of playing on the field, he handles himself in a really professional way. The way he watches film, I think he watches, almost as much film as the quarterbacks do. So his preparation is flawless and plays really hard, plays through some injuries. He's another one of my favorites because of how he goes about his business. Really great guy, and glad to have him on our team.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.